Hi, my name is Sally Bernard, an artist, author, and spiritual experiencer. Hi, my name is Sally Bernard, an artist, author, and spiritual experiencer. Welcome to Call Me Zena, a true story into the spiritual realms. Join me as I sit and discuss the journey of self-discovery and awakening with the help of my spirit guides. It's time to trust your intuition. This is your inner knowings. Through questions and points of conversation, I can help others feel empowered. With the ability to touch people's past lives, I help others connect and not feel alone. Sit with me and call in live, 888-994-4995. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Dawn, I just want to acknowledge the date today, which is 9/11. So I guess, could you just mention a few things, Dawn, for me? Thank you. Because I go into a trance.
Sally Bernard, host of Call Me Zena. Sally, tell me why today is so significant for you.
Hi. Okay, so we're going to open the show, but I didn't want to let this date go by without an introduction to it. But when I'm in a trance, it's hard for me to kind of focus on what's going on. So anybody out there or anybody in the studio audience, please feel free to ask me any questions. I'm here.
Sally, why is 9/11 so significant for you?
Well, I think it's significant, Dawn, for everybody. You know, it's a date that we never, ever forget. It's history today. Unfortunately, what happened was a terrible tragedy, but we should never forget. Just like many other things, the Holocaust, many other things, it goes down in history. So I feel that it was very appropriate, obviously, to mention this today. And for the souls that passed, we should never forget this. It's part of who we are, and it happened in this lifetime that we are in. And many people now, I believe it's 22 years ago. It seems like it was yesterday, but we'll never forget the souls that passed. My belief is obviously that they live on. So hopefully, and from what I understand, they're still listening to us, or many have reincarnated. But you know, that's a personal thing of what I believe. So I just wanted to acknowledge that it's an important date.
You wanted to talk about karma today.
I did, yes.
Soul, so this is a perfect segue for that.
Perfect, yes. Because I believe that, you know, from my belief, and I don't expect everybody to understand that, but I've had a lot of validation that the souls that may have passed on that date have maybe come back. You know, if there's anybody out there that may have had something or experienced something that they may want to call in and ask me, I'm happy to answer any questions, or I open it up to the studio audience here too. We have quite a few people here in the audience.
You can call in today at 888-994-4995, Studio A, to ask Sally a question.
Thank you.
Sally, tell us about karma and past lives. And what does it mean when you feel that instant connection, whether it be good or it could be bad, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, I feel very connected to some of my past lives, because anybody that's been following my program know that I had my guide here, Aldo Adamir, in my book, who had actually told me who I was in a few of my lifetimes. But maybe I didn't necessarily, I did believe him, but I also needed proof like anybody else. But I'm drawing from those lifetimes, and I'm drawing a lot of the signs and symbols from the Renaissance period. As you know, Dawn, we're very connected with that particular time. So to me, it opened up a whole new spectrum of things that were happening to me. I realized that I needed to talk about this today. It was very important. I, like many people, were very skeptical about what was going on. But it was hard for me to deny this, because here I'm drawing from a lifetime that I did not remember. And I have somebody in this lifetime that's pointing out to me that the various signs and symbols from the Renaissance period, which I actually knew nothing about. So I thought I was drawing it. So it became very real to me to understand that maybe I had lived in that lifetime. And the more that I understand today, I see that I was definitely there, because how am I able to draw things that I've never seen in this lifetime? It doesn't happen that way. And I'm also meeting people, as you know, Dawn, from that particular lifetime, because it was my time to begin to wake up to this situation here.
And there's a lot of things going on here now in the studio. You see we've got a lot of new people. And there's been a whole new resurgence of bringing music forward. How do you think that looks as far as business opportunities?
I think it's very important. I think that it's not just me. I can't say that I'm attracting all these people, but everybody, and obviously with you, because you're in the studio all the time, we are bringing forth many people that have a home here to maybe talk about where they were and what they were doing. It's not coincidence. I feel that we hadn't had this discussion, but I feel that it's very important for me to let you know that, Dawn. And I know that we obviously had a connection, and we knew that from the moment we met. But that's not just us. We are bringing people into the studio here. I mean, I could be having a very bad day. If that should happen, I say to myself, I need to come here, because it changes. And as you know, and that's very important. It's very important. But that's also happening to other people. There's a couple of people in the studio, if you don't mind me mentioning you, Sandy, who I feel very connected with. And also Jennifer, that you have brought. I mean, the moment I met this lady, I had goosebumps all over me. This is not coincidence. I hope you don't mind me saying this on the show, but I feel very connected. This is how it works. It works this way.
Now, what about when you meet someone and their energy and your energy, they just do not go together. And no matter what they do and no matter what you do, it doesn't work. Could that be a past life karmic, something that we're supposed to figure out?
I believe so.
Then how do we figure that out if we just don't work?
My first inclination is walk away from that person. But you know what? We're not going to learn what we're meant to learn. So sometimes when someone comes into your life, although you may feel uncomfortable, and I have had that definitely happen to me, I believe that we should work through that. It's not always easy, but anybody that comes into our life, there is a reason and a purpose. I mean, if you're feeling really uncomfortable with that person, just let them go. But I believe they will show up maybe in this lifetime or the next lifetime. So my advice for that is work through that. I think it's important that anybody that comes into your life that you feel uncomfortable with, you need to work the karma out.
I think you have a question over there.
We have okay.
Hello, Sally.
Hi.
I'm good. And yourself?
I'm good. I'm having a good day. That's good.
I wanted to ask, what are my guides saying for me today? What is Ishmael saying for me today?
Boy, he does not leave me when you come into the studio, as you know. I mean, the fact that we got the name and we had so much validation on that. He says you're doing everything correctly. This is exactly how he's saying to me. Keep doing what you're doing. Although sometimes you question it, and you know what I'm talking about, okay? Do not. He knows what you're doing, okay? Follow what your path is. You will get, you know what? He's coming to you in your dreams. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Yeah, I had dreams of a red skeleton ruby people.
Okay, he's telling me, I'm getting my goosebumps, which everybody tells me that I'm famous for. Okay, he's coming to you. You're on the right track. Do not doubt it. He's with you. He never leaves you. It's very important right now, because whatever is happening right now is going to determine what you're going to do from here on in. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so continue. And I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad that you're in the studio and asking me that, because it gives the validation that you need.
Because I had a dream recently. I was like on a train, and I was running away from like aliens, I believe, something like that. And when I went through this corridor where the conductor is, they told me not to go through there. And I went through there, and it was like glass people, and you could see like their skeletons made of rubies, red rubies.
Okay, we can talk a little bit later, maybe, or another time about that, but your dreams are real, what you are experiencing. So he's giving you messages, okay? It's that you take control of what you want, okay? That's very important. So if something comes to you in a dream and you're not comfortable with it, it's before it's happened, if that makes sense to you. So you need to take control of that. If you don't want something and you're seeing what's happening, you say, no, I don't want that to happen. But he's working with you, and he's working with you very much right now. It's very important that you listen to your dreams, okay?
Yes,
Don't
ma'am.
have to always go along with it, but he's going to be there to guide you if that helps us, if that
Yes,
helps
ma'am.
you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Holly, why I keep asking my guides, please let me see the people that I'm dreaming about. Usually I don't get faces.
Put more into the mic. It's hard for me to hear too, Sandy.
You hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, usually, you know, I don't get faces, and I keep wanting to see who they are because I know some years ago when I was doing the cards and everything, you know, I would write everything down. And I'd wake up and write things down, but now I'm not getting anything as clear.
Sandy, you're blocking it. I don't know why, but for some reason you're blocking it. You are getting messages in your dreams, okay? Do you relate to that a little bit? Because if it makes you feel uncomfortable, but it's there for a purpose, okay? So continue, listen to your dreams. You are getting messages in your dreams. It's really important for you to know that, okay? But you may not always like what you're hearing, but you know what? You have free will and you can change what you're hearing. You are getting your messages in your dreams. Do not block it. Say as you go to sleep.
I want to know the faces because
Well, yeah, I was going to get to that too. Right now, the faces are not showing themselves,
Right.
okay? They're not. But all you need to do is say to yourself, I want to see who's talking to me, because
Okay.
they are, okay? This is really important for you to understand this, as far as I can tell, what they're telling me, okay? Nothing to be scared about, but listen, because they are giving you messages. They're in a way wanting to appear anonymous to you. But you will know, and we, you know, even come to me. We will work this out together, okay? But it's for your own advantage, okay? For
Okay.
what you need to know.
okay. Also, my guides, you told me I had two guides. One I'm not familiar with at all. The other one, like Alfie, I know.
Alfia, it's
Right,
coming
but you
to-
mentioned another lady that I am not familiar with. I don't know if there's anybody else that,
No, right now these are the important ones that we've been talking
I can't
about.
relate to
okay?
the woman
because
at
if
all.
it's like here, if we have a lot of people giving us all sorts of information, we don't focus. So maybe just a couple of them you need to focus in. You are psychic, as you know you are psychic, okay? So they're coming to you. People from on the other side of the veil will tune in to people that can read their messages. You are one of the people, and you know that, Sandy, okay? And your dog, True, Bella, she knows. I had to acknowledge her. Look at her looking at me. Okay.
Sally, how can people try to communicate with their loved ones who have passed?
Simple. Just talk to them, Dawn. You know, express like you would as if they were here. Just say, you know, I'm having a problem with whatever it may be, or I'm excited about something. Go with what you hear. Go with the first message that comes into your mind, because they're more than happy to communicate with you if you acknowledge them. It's like me talking to you and I'm not listening to you and I don't acknowledge you. It's the same thing. You're going, well, I'm not going to bother. If I tell you I can hear you, you're going to ask me another question. It's the same thing on the other side, I'm going to say, of the veil. It's exactly the same thing, because they're putting forth energy too. But if they feel that they're wasting it and you're not taking any notice, you know, but let them know that you can hear them. It's very
What if you get a message and you think, oh my gosh, I don't know if I should tell anybody this message, because maybe it's not a good message. Not about death, but even just on dates and things. And then you see it start to play out.
You're on the right track. Call me.
I'm gonna
I'll
call
help
you.
you with, yes. Just call me and I'll see what I can do for you. Okay. Is there anything in particular that maybe you're thinking about? Because I feel
I
that
had
there
heard
is.
something about, a message about November. Things are going to change in business in November. And this came to me in March, and I told Freddie, but I didn't really want to tell him because I can't, it wasn't a good November, but then you said things can change, right? When one door closes, another one opens.
It's very important that you verbalize it. Even if Freddie turns around to you and says, oh, leave me alone with that, Continue with it, Dawn, because you are also very psychic and you're very intuitive. So if you're getting a message about something in November, no matter what, I'm using Freddie because you had mentioned him, but anybody else, continue with it and say, no, I need to tell you. It's up to the other person to maybe understand it, but at least you verbalized it. It's very, very important for you to do that, especially with this, whatever is happening in November.
Do you see anything changing in business in November?
Yes, I do. I do. I think, but for the good. I'm going to tell you that I'm seeing it for the good. However, and Freddie, I don't believe is in the room right now, but that's okay. You need to tell him this is what you have seen or you have heard. You are definitely on the right track. You know that, okay? And he needs to know. He needs to know. Whether he says, I'm not listening, doesn't matter. You continue to tell him, okay? Let him listen to this part of the show, okay?
Because it's what as things change.
Something is going to change drastically, I feel. But I'm also going to say for the good. As long as you verbalize it with him, please verbalize what you're seeing, because I think you're capable of doing that.
And for people who want to just connect with their guides, like Sandy does and Avraham does, it's just a matter of talking to them?
That's all. It's simple. We complicate it. As I have said in some of my prose, you know, I say we complicate what is really, really simple. You talk to them just like they're sitting here. They're with us here right now in the room. But people will say, how do I hear them? What you need to do is go with your instinct. I am only doing this the same way as anybody else. What I hear, I will verbalize and say. I don't know whether it's right or wrong, but I am putting forward what I hear. And most of the time, people say to me, my goodness, you validated that, and it was perfect. I'm not special. I'm just listening to it because I've opened up to it.
And we played the movie trailer today.
Yes.
What's the message that you want to share when the rest of the movie comes out?
I want to share what happened to me, Dawn. It's really important because I'm still an ordinary person living in this life, but I've opened up to a lot of things because I couldn't deny anymore what was happening to me. And it's not just me that these things happen to. It happens to many of us when we're ready. But the thing that I really want to tell people is to take notice of what's happening, of the validation that we may get. And Steve, my husband, is a perfect example of this. I met him 23 years ago. I'm not sure if he's listening, but I want to let him know that he had no idea of what was going to happen. He had no intention of even talking to me again because we just were working together. But many years later, he came back into my life, but he wasn't ready. He is ready today. And that many people out there may be ready, but they don't know how to handle this. So my advice is just listen to your intuition, as Steve did, and he called me, and we're together. We got married. So it works it will work as long as you believe it. And that's very important for me to tell you this, because if you don't believe it, you're not going to continue. But even if you believe it and say that there is more in this life, and there definitely is, you will see so many things happen. Follow through with what's happening to you. It could be a song. You could ask a question and you'd say, even if you would just want to talk to your guide or whoever it is, a loved one that's passed, play me a song that I can relate to. Turn on the radio and listen. It will. I can't tell you completely that it'll be there, but it's happened to me many, many times. And then you'll begin to open up and say, you know what? There's more to this life than just what we see. It's really important to understand that. And my message today is to pass that on to people. I mean, I'm at the end of my life, and I do want to spread this message that there is much more than what we see.
When do you think the shift, I know it's a shift in mindset, of someone sitting and saying, Sally, can I have a reading, to that person actually having their own visions and interpretations?
So, I'm sorry, can you just give me the end
When
of that?
someone says, Sally, can I have a reading? And that then their, I don't want to say power, but their intuition grows, that they can then start seeing visions and messages.
They
And
will.
It becomes a spiritual balance.
They will, as long as they open up. I mean, I know that there are many people that are religious. I actually did not follow too much of organized religion, so I had a little bit of an advantage, but I'm not there to tell you not to follow religion, because as long as you have faith, that's fine. But just go, you'll hear it. I can only tell you that I've heard so much that I couldn't deny it. And anybody that knows me and knows my show and my book, that my guide did appear. I was drawing, I was doing things that I had no idea that I could do. So I was stubborn, just like many people out there, but they were knocking on my head and saying, no, there is more. So when I pass from this life, if I've done nothing more than to tell people, please understand that there is more than just this, what we're seeing here.
Then how do you balance it? I think that's one of the hardest things.
That's very important, and I'm glad you asked me that, Dawn. Thank you. Because I don't want to go too much into this and not go with what I'm doing here. We need that balance. I know that there is more, but if I was out there, so to speak, all the time, how am I able to relate what I'm doing here? I'm also here in this world because I'm here for a reason. I'm here. So the balance, which I have talked about in many of my shows, is very, very important. So we can talk about what's out there, but we also have to bring ourselves back here and say, okay, this is how we will work with them, to acknowledge it, basically. It's very important. And you know, as far as going back to the topic that we're talking about, reincarnation, I don't believe that this conversation, and you know that too, is coincidental, because I believe we knew each other in a lifetime prior to this, which is going back, as you know, to the Renaissance period. We will meet people. Try to acknowledge that if we feel, and there's a lady here, I'm not sure if she wants me to mention her name, but the moment that I met her, I felt a connection also with both of you, and you know who I'm talking about if you don't mind me mentioning that, but that's up to you. I won't mention any names, but I felt a distinct connection, and that's very important. If you feel that, acknowledge that. I'm not sure why, but I know that I felt a connection.
What is your name? Jennifer.
I felt a connection with Jennifer. I'm not sure how you feel about being on camera, and that's fine. But the moment and through yourself, as you know, and I'm looking at you, that I know that you brought her and both of you here for a reason. I don't believe anything is coincidental. Anything.
You have a question, Sandy?
No, I agree with what she said.
You do. Thank you, Sandy. Yeah.
There are no coincidences in anything.
No coincidences whatsoever. The fact that, you know, and I will bring in this Brooklyn Cafe also because it's helped me so much to understand where I'm coming from. I've been 1 year now doing this show. And to me, I could be in a, you know, we all have our off days, but I know that the moment I come into this cafe, I'm completely different because I have a lot of people here that can relate. I'm not talking about physicality, but that here in the studio, Adorn, and you know that too. It's the most wonderful feeling when you touch it. I can't expect everybody to believe this. If you'd spoken to me 23 years ago, I'm going, what are you talking about? But 23 years later, with me painting, with all the people that have come into my life, of all the things that have happened to me, of getting married a couple of years, I mean, you know, this is not coincidence. It's what my life plan was. And hopefully I'm making a movie and a trailer here that will talk about that. It's the most wonderful feeling. I can never give this up. I will never give this up.
And what does Elizabeth have to say today?
Elizabeth is here. And she's very proud of the way that she always relates herself to your daughter. I don't know if that you can relate to that. She's saying that your daughter is on the right track, okay? She's doing what she's meant to do. Elizabeth, I believe, is her guide, okay? And I need you, if you want to, acknowledge that and tell your daughter that. Because the moment she comes in, she refers to your daughter. She's definitely on the right track. She may not feel it right now, okay? She's a little bit like, okay, all right, I'm here, I'm there, but she's on the right track, and she has Elizabeth as her guide.
Now, can you see who my son's guide is?
It's not Elizabeth. It's, ask me that again, because I'm not sure exactly, you know, I don't like to bring my mind into this.
My son, Aaron, he's down in Miami, and he's got different guides.
That's why I'm getting a little confusion. For some reason, his guides have changed. He has had one guide, but now another one has stepped forward. And if he believes in this, I need you to tell him this, okay? So he's on the right track, but the guide that he has now is more relating to what he's doing in his field of work, okay? So he needs to listen to him. The other guide was more out there in a different field. He knew what he was going to do. This particular guide, they've changed guides. The other one is still here. But let him know that he's being guided in the right direction. Because I believe it's not that he's going to change his profession, but I believe that he's thinking about doing something else in his profession that is not what he's been doing. Okay, he needs to follow that because he's now had another guide that's taken over for him that will guide him in, I'm not going to say a different direction because he's still doing what he's doing, but it's going to be, as we would say, a different topic. Okay, does that make sense to you?
100%.
Okay, and that's really important that he knows that, Dawn.
Do you know his name? Or her name?
No, it's a male. I'm not sure right now, but ask me that in a few minutes. It might come to me. I don't like my mind to come into it, but if I don't get it right away, it'll come back. It will come back. It's actually a name from the past. I'm going to say something like, I feel Abraham. Abraham is his guide. Abraham is coming in.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Does that ring any bell to you of any kind? That may not now, and that's okay because I'm putting
We
you
can go
on.
back biblically. We can go all the way back.
Okay, but he has a guide, and his guide is showing him to go in a slightly different direction, not to change what he's doing, but go in a different direction.
You know, it's funny when all the signs point you in one way. He says, Mom always says, when the messages come, you have to follow them, and I do.
Absolutely. And because you are very psychic, Dawn, and and he knows that. Although kids, they go, okay, all right, Mom. I mean, my son does the same thing to me, and my daughter did too. But you know what? You know what you're talking about. So present it to him in a way that he's not going to say this is way out, but you need to communicate a little bit to him about that, okay?
All right, you want to take a commercial break?
Yeah. Okay, I'll see you back in a few seconds.
We're going to come on the other side of this commercial break.
Thank you.
Give us a
Thank
call,
you.
888-994-4995, Studio A. And to book a private reading with Sally, you can email her at callmezena, Zena, 1111 @gmail.com. And we'll be right back.
This world, this life, this illusion. What is going on, we ask? What is happening? Why not take time and see what is happening? Okay, so I was
This world,
right.
as we
I
know
feel
it,
this very
it seems so
strongly, and I'm
real,
glad that
and
you
yet
asked me that.
so far away from where we've come. Corruption, greed, anger, power, revenge. Please wake up. We can change what is around us. How, we may ask. Learn to go back to where we were. Then we will have the clues. Then we can change and go forward. Please take the time. Do not fall into the game which we have put upon ourselves. We can change. We can make a difference. We have the power, each and every one of us. Go in peace. Go with love. Go as one. Zena.
A true story, Call Me Zena, is the telling of Sally Bernard. Born in London, England at the end of the Second World War, she came to the U.S. in 1979. A mother of 2 and grandmother of 4, she settled in Florida and worked in real estate. While going through a difficult time in her life, she was admitted into a hospital overnight in December of 2005. While settling back into her life, she began having vivid dreams and documenting them. By the third dream, a lady gave her a message to draw. With no artistic background or interest in art or history, Sally listened to her dreams and grabbed paper and crayons. Today, she has over 150 pieces of inspiring art and poetry. This book follows her journey and interpretations of these messages. She describes in detail how she's able to astral project and who she has met along her travels, including her spirit guides. This book will show you how anything is possible with an open mind. These events have changed Sally's life's direction, and this book will show you how to change yours. Purchase Call Me Zena on Amazon today.
You have been watching Call Me Zena with your host, Sally Bernard. As an artist, author, and spiritual experiencer, know that you could always seek me out for resources. Visit artbysallybernard.com today. Now, back to the show.
Hi, I'm back. I feel that there's people over on the other side, away from me, that I feel that I want to acknowledge. I feel that there is a question that you may want to ask me. I'm not sure.
Anyone over here have a question? They say no. Jennifer,
No.
you have a question?
Jennifer, do you have a question? I feel that there's something in the room over there. I'm not sure that there is a question. They're saying to me, please acknowledge them. I don't know. I need you for somebody in the audience to mention that.
I've asked every question I can think of.
It must be you. It's got to be you. You have every question?
No, I think I've asked every question.
She asked all her questions.
Okay, that's all right. Just if you do come up with something, just let me know. I'm here, okay?
So your guides can change, or do they stay with you and grow?
Actually, honestly, I wasn't aware until that just happened, and I am in what I call my trance. Yes, they change because they're here to guide us, literally to guide us. So because we have free will, we can change a different path. So just like if you have a friend that's helped you so much in your lifetime today, but it's like we need somebody else to help the friend, they will come in, and that's what's happening in your lifetime. I believe that that's happening to you and your son right now. I also feel very strongly that there's somebody over there, I'm not sure, that needs to ask a question. Is there anybody? I may be wrong, I don't know. It's just a feeling I'm getting. Okay, Sandy.
Talking to your mic.
Talk into your mic.
Like I'm trying to get back into cards because I haven't done them since I moved to Florida because they wanted to meet. The reason I didn't do it professionally then, but they wanted me to get a place of my own and a license, and that's why I didn't get into it. But I'm kind of afraid. I want to so bad, and I keep talking to my guides telling me to let me do it. I've got some certain fears that, maybe, I do it psychically. I don't even read the actual cards, but I'm just afraid I'm going to bring something bad in. I don't know why. It's just in my mind. It's stupid.
You're feeling something bad?
I might bring something evil in.
No.
I mean,
you're
excuse
very
me.
psychic, and I knew that from when we
I know.
first met. And the fact that you do, I do it different. We all do it differently. I don't necessarily read the cards, but if I do, it's bringing my information in. But you have an ability to do that, Sandy. And if you feel that that's your calling, there's nothing bad about that. I'm not sure how you do this in Florida because I don't read the cards. I just, I talk and I give messages. But I feel that you're on the right track. There's nothing to be bad about this or scared about it.
I watch these stupid things where they have Ouija boards and all these evil things come in and stuff like that, and I'm thinking, please, what if that happened to me? I get so sick.
No, I actually, many years ago, before I understood exactly what I was able to do here, is that my guide told me, if you do the Ouija board, and this doesn't always, I'm not saying it's set in stone, but it's like opening your home up to anybody.
That's right.
Okay? So you have to protect yourself.
I know
But
that,
I don't
and I
believe
do.
that that's necessarily true. Well, it may be, but with you reading the cards.
I always protect myself. I always
Protect
say a little
yourself.
prayer, or
That's
something.
the answer to your question. As
Okay.
long as you protect yourself with the Ouija
Right, well,
board,
I don't use the
with
Ouija board.
with the cards that you read. I myself, I'm not really aware that I do that, but I know that I have Aldo up there to protect me. So
Right.
I'm protecting myself too, because on the other flip side of this, there are, and I don't want to go into this too much because I'm a very positive person, but there are evil I'm not even saying evil because that's a very strong word. There are forces that don't necessarily want you to continue to do
That's
this.
what I think about when
you
I
just say,
know that-
okay,
Yeah.
everything is good. Let's put a white light here. I was told to light a white candle. I don't
Right.
necessarily do that, but
I do that.
in my mind, I have a white candle. So go ahead with what you feel that your calling is.
Okay, thank you.
So Sally, I'm seeing gold coins.
Yeah.
Like, is it big, like old gold coins connected? Do you have any idea what that might mean?
I'm not off the top of my head. It's hard for me to figure this out. I believe that the coins are something to do, they're representing some sort of, coins are money. I believe it's some sort of money. Is this relating, how would you word that question that you feel that, have you got any feeling about that? The
I never see gold coins, although your daughter always sends me messages, so I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe it's from Louise.
Yeah.
Does she have an angel near her in her, where she's buried, or where she is? Like a statue of an angel?
I honestly don't know. She's near the beginning as we walk in because her tombstone is very near as people walk by. But I can ask my granddaughter that.
It seems to be like
She's very much with you, Dawn. I feel that. You've given me many messages as far as the daisies. My daughter, for people that don't know, I lost my daughter. She's still with me just over a year ago. But the connection is very great between you and I and my daughter, which you know that.
So they say, I guess gold coins symbolize wealth and prosperity. So maybe November, that's it. So maybe-
Absolutely.
So I'll
That
let
was
y'all
the
know.
answer to your message. Yes, you got it before me, but that was good because we needed to bring that out to validate that. And she's working with you and she's going, okay, let's figure out how we can tell Dawn this, okay?
So she's got this little angel statue, not like the one you gave me, like a bust of an angel that sits with her.
Okay,
she
great.
is.
Yes, and I feel that you're going to see this. Even if you go out somewhere, you're going to say, oh my God, that's what she's showing me. I'm not sure where. It could be opening a book. It could be that you go to a certain place and you're going to see it. But she's telling me, and you actually get her more than I do actually at this point, that she's telling you that she's with you. She feels our connection. I know it makes sense to you, okay? And even by the songs that we hear, okay? So she's telling me that she's going to be fine. She's not telling me that I'll be fine, but she's telling me that too, but you're going to be fine, okay?
Is it strange for you to get messages from your daughter through another source and not directly?
No, I love it. It's fine. That's great. And that's probably how she would work. She's going, oh, if I talk to my mum, she's not going to believe it. But if she talks to you, as far as even with the daisies, when I asked my granddaughter, just to backtrack a little bit, you said that you saw many daisies. I asked her daughter, which is my granddaughter, did she like daisies? This is my daughter. She said she loved daisies. So there was your answer.
Hi, Sally.
Hi.
I wanted to ask, what do you get from my energy today?
Okay, your energy is a little bit going crazy right now. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay, so you need to, I'm going to say, I can't get the words out for some reason. You need to think and listen to yourself, okay? You need to, oh my God, this never usually happens. Balance yourself. It's more than balance, but it's very important for you to do that right now because they're giving you messages, okay? But you're like all over the place right now. Stop that, okay? You need to balance yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense.
You're fighting with it. Stop it. I can't even get the message because it's so strong, okay? You need to balance. Thank you for that. You need to balance yourself and go with how you've been going in the last few weeks. Stop this, okay? They're telling me, tell him to stop this, okay? We're helping him, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That's amazing because his energy comes on so strong.
Oh
right?
my God, it's all over the place. I couldn't even get it out because it's all over the place. Stop it. Relax. Go within and you will have your answers, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
That's very important for you, please.
Thank you.
And what do you think's happening now with the aliens and now that everything is coming out?
Wow. That's all I can say. Wow. I'm very happy that this is coming out because I came, as you know, forward many months ago to say that I realized today that I've been abducted. Was it strange for me, just like it's strange of what we're hearing? Absolutely. But when I backtrack with all the things that have happened to me, I see that I was. So my core of what I'm talking about now is very much about we are not alone. There are aliens out there. Do I expect everyone to believe this? No. But my time now was for me to wake up from all the things that happened to me 18 years ago up till now. So I want to come forward very much of my experiences. Don't have to believe it, but just as long as you hear it, it might open your mind a little bit. We are not, and I have to say this, we are not alone.
I was watching an interview with Elon Musk yesterday, and he is, I guess he's diagnosed with Asperger's.
I
so
just
we talk
saw
all
that.
the time, right? That he really believes that we need to have interplanetary travel, which is why he's pushing so hard to get us to Mars.
Absolutely, and I actually was watching it just before I came to the cafe today. They also believe that he may be even bipolar, but what we call bipolar may be something different because I believe, and I don't know, and this is a disclaimer, I have no idea, but I believe that he's being contacted. I mean, the guy has been amazingly successful and he's coming forward with this. I have no proof of this, and I just want to disclaim that. But everything that he talks about, I can relate very much to.
So I was watching, and I'm thinking he's like Thomas Edison, Henry Ford of that generation for this.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can even go back Einstein and all these people that made Leonardo da Vinci. I mean, if you listen, I listen because my guide told me to listen to, I believe it was Da Vinci's Demons, where he was actually taken for a couple of weeks. I mean, signs are all there. It's really, really important for us maybe just to keep an open mind and listen to these people that knew so much. I am not sure who wrote Star Trek. I believe it was, I'm not sure actually, so I'm not going to say something that I'm not sure about. But so much of the messages are there. We are not alone. And if I don't say more than anything else or answer your questions, please try to understand we are not alone. And I see you, Sandy, nodding your head, which makes me feel happy.
And I think there's a lot of people, that are walking among us that are not from this world. And I really believe that, and I think that we don't know who they are, and they're not going to tell us, but they look the same.
Absolutely, they blend in.
That's right.
But they have an agenda. Now, people might say, oh, I'm scared. But I do believe from everything that I know, the majority of them, I'm not saying every one, but the majority of them are here to help us.
That's right.
Absolutely.
I
And
wish it would
I'm
open up
getting
more.
goosebumps as we're having this conversation. I don't know if I'm correct, but everything that I seem to say, people can validate.
Yep.
So I'm going to say, do not be scared. There will be a disclosure. They're not here to harm us.
That's right, I agree.
However, having said that, there is a few people that are, but the majority of people are not. That's very important to bring this forward.
That's
Very.
right.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Hey, Sally, how's it going?
Hi, Josh.
I like to Abraham's question. If you can pick up on any energies that you see around me or anything like that, because I've been going to school now, or going back to school for the past 2 weeks now, working here still full time and all that. And although it is a lot, I feel more into the cycle of things, or more into the flow of where I'm supposed to be.
You're very intuitive, and you know that, and I've said that to you before.
Yeah.
So where you're going, I believe that you're being led into the right direction, okay? And so follow that path. If for some reason, and go with your own gut feeling, Josh, if you feel that maybe I shouldn't go that way, but I should go in that direction, follow what you feel. I can tell you many things, but you know what? You have it within you too to understand this. So follow your gut, which I have said many times. the fact that I feel that you're branching out a little bit more, and this is really good for you, but not everything that you're branching out into may be what you need to do right now. It may be in a couple of years. So concentrate very much of what you feel is correct for you, because it will give you what you need to know.
Okay. And then for one of the classes, we're talking about artificial intelligence in the future. It holds for that. They're stating that it's going to have a authoritarian control over us.
Okay, I feel this is a subject that's very dear to me, because I feel that I have been abducted, and I'm quite happy to say that, but we have to go with caution. We definitely have to go with caution. I'm not here to scare a lot of people and say that, oh my God, this is going to take us over. But, you know, I'm not the person to tell you this, but the people that are actually talking about, that have brought forth AI, are telling you the same thing. I think it's really, really important. We're at a crossroads. We can go one way or the other, but we need to go, if we go with the AI, which obviously we're doing right now, we need to go with caution. That's my message. I can't tell you that I'm right, but I feel very strongly about that.
Yeah, because these big data corporations, they have just thousands of information about us that we don't even know about at all. Is there anything that we can do?
Not a lot, okay?
Okay, that's just
because
enjoy life,
if you
basically.
take somebody, let's just say, and I don't know a lot about it, it's because of what I feel, the artificial intelligence is intelligence beyond what we know, okay? You take someone's mind, they've got everybody's mind. So if you put all that together, let's think of what could happen. So we have to go with caution. But we are going forward with that. So there's not a whole lot we can do. But my advice is to go with caution. I can't say stop this, because they're not going to. But we have to be aware of what it can do. It can control us. We are being controlled anyway, from what I know. But that's a whole different subject, and I'm not willing to open up too much about that. But this is controlling us. But we can still control it up to a point. Be aware that we're being controlled by artificial intelligence. It's all our minds together.
Yeah.
So if you put that together, my goodness.
Awesome. All right, thank you.
So we have to be more attention to AI and what's happening.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm just one little person in this big universe. I'm very aware of that. I don't know where it's going to go, and honestly, I don't want to even know at this point where it's going to go. I just know we need to go with caution, but I'm just somebody who's sitting here listening to this, but the people that are familiar, that are using AI, that have built this up, are telling us to go with caution. So what more do we need?
What do you think's next for you? I don't know why they're telling me to ask you that, but
What's next for me is somehow I always talk about my age, I'm getting older. I just want to leave a mark here to let people know, basically, that there is so much more going on around us. And I can only do this by example through what I'm doing here, to show people what's happened to me. I'm just an ordinary person in this big universe, but I have come in contact with a lot of, people might say, strange things, but my message is just be aware that there's more going on, and we are not alone. We are not alone. We're getting help. Majority of people want to help us here. And if there will be disclosure, it'll be a soft disclosure, I've heard, of UFOs, of people coming in. They're not here to harm us, most of them. I'm not saying every one. So my message right now, and whether I'm going to still be around when they appear, I don't know, but just know that, listen, they're here to help us. That's my message. It just came forward with me telling you this.
and we were talking about Elon Musk and the brilliance of who he is. Do you think we talked about reincarnation, like any of these brilliant men that were before him have now come back through him?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can't tell you who Elon Musk was in a previous life, but I think he was a very prominent person in bringing forward his message, because, it's like I'm on a journey here. Am I going to suddenly stop? I don't think so.
but that doesn't stop when I transition. I'm still on my same journey. This is just coming to me. I had no idea what question you were going to ask me, as you know, Dawn. But I feel that he's continuing from another life. I can't tell you who he was. I don't know right now. But he's continuing his message in this lifetime, which will carry on to the next lifetime. We need to understand what's going on. We're still, you know, there's a lot of different planets in this universe. There's many. We are still comparatively young, so we need to learn more. We need to open up. And people like himself, or many other, Einstein was a very good example of that. Many people, Da Vinci, that, to me, I feel very close, maybe because I'm an artist, I'm nothing like him, but I feel very close to his message that he was giving. Many of these people were trying to tell us through art, through poetry, through just what they're able to do in this lifetime, that there is more. I believe that we're being contacted, I truly believe that, by people that are more advanced, that are trying to give us these messages, and just open up to the possibility that they are around us to help us. My positivity, I try to be very positive, so I believe it's for the good.
And
Why doesn't the government let us all in on everything that's going on? in
Love
this
that
world?
question, because they keep it as top secret.
Why?
There are many reasons for that, Sandy, too. First of all, if they suddenly came out with everything, and they do know, not everybody, but there are people in the government that definitely know this, there'll be mass hysteria, that people will go crazy. So I've now got a word for that. We have to do this gradually, soft disclosure. That comes to me. We have to do this softly. But there are many people in the government that will not let you know, because their agenda, and I keep my program very positive, but their agenda may not be necessarily for the good of everybody.
How are we going to benefit if we don't know the things that they know? I mean, it's
Exactly.
not
Exactly. And you know what? If there's people listening to me, it's okay. I need to let what I know, by example of what I've heard out there. There is a lot more going on. And they do keep, there's a program called the Secret Space Program. It's on Gaia. And they'll tell you. They have whistleblowers today that are coming forth with what's going on. But they're taking their lives. You know, many of them, I'm sure, are not around today. Unfortunately, it's a shame. It's sad.
Sally,
Yes,
can you hear me?
I can.
I wanted to ask you if you sense anyone around me that has passed.
Okay, I feel that there's someone, yes, you have somebody with you most of the time. I'm getting the name Alan. Now, it could not necessarily be from this lifetime. Does that ring a Alan, or? It's definitely an A. Does that ring a bell to you in any way?
The only person that would be an A would be my father.
With your father? Okay. I'm getting the letter A. Sometimes I put my mind to it, so I'm saying an Alan, but they're definitely distinctly, they're giving me an A. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's good. So I'm right with the A. You know, if I kind of bring myself around, I'm saying Alan, but it's an A. So yes, your father is with you for sure. I mean, where would I get the letter A from? Okay. He's helping you. He's guiding you. He's with you. Just know and be aware of this. He wants you to talk to him. I mean, it's cliche that I can say that you were recently looking at a picture, but I feel that you were looking at a picture of him and you were talking to him. Continue to do that because he is with you.
Do you sense anyone else?
I'm getting a child. Does that make sense?
Childlike, but not a child.
A child-like. Okay. Well, there's someone around you that is a child or childlike, okay, which is important for you to know that. They are around.
I should take that back. Yes, he's a child, grown up now, but yes, a child to me.
A child. Well, that's what's important. It's what you see that person as. So even if they're grown, if they're a child to you, that's what it means. Like someone can say, my mother, but it could be a mother figure. They are around you. They're helping you. You're getting messages. I feel that you're getting messages. I feel that you talked to someone, you were looking in a mirror or something. I don't know where I'm getting this from, but you were communicating with someone and you were listening. Does that make any sense to you? My guide tells me, that's a particular guide that tells me, does that make sense? You were talking to, maybe it was a picture, it could have been a picture, but I'm feeling like a mirror, like you were talking into, perhaps you were doing your hair or something. Do you follow that at all?
Yes.
Okay. They were listening. My answer to that is they were listening and continue to do that. I do that myself, so they're relating it to me too. As I'm doing my hair, I will talk to someone. I'm not even aware of it sometimes, I'm just thinking. But continue to do that. If you're making up or whatever it is as you're getting ready, whoever you're talking to, whoever comes into your mind, they're very aware that they're listening to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any other messages or questions for Sally? Antonio, you have any? Mom, you have any? No? Jennifer? You have any messages you want to leave with your audience for the week on September 11th and karmic relationships and souls coming back?
Actually, I have a story that I really want to relay that actually has something to do with September the 11th. My girlfriend Margaret is not here today. She's coming next week. But in the process of me moving, I stayed in her house for maybe about 2 months. And I was in her other bedroom. And then she got a phone call that one of her, as I was there, that very good friend of hers had just passed. And she was beside herself. And I said, let's light a candle to send them to the light. And then I went back into my room where I was staying, and it was a lot of her clothes were in there, so I had never gone really into the closet. But I went back. I said, I have to go back into the room, her second bedroom, and look in the closet. Something told me to go in there. I put my hand up high onto a shelf that was way up, and I pulled something out. I wasn't even sure. It was a big, like a plaque of some kind, of like a poster. And I go back and she will tell you, she'll be here next week. And I said, Margaret, does this mean anything to you? And she looked at it, and the person that had just passed had given this to her. And it actually was the towers coming down with all the spirits and the souls going up into the air. I had no idea. I had been in that room for 2 months and never ever looked up on the shelf, but I brought that to her, and I feel that that's very appropriate today to talk about that. It was the spirits of the souls that had passed, and I never knew it was there. And of course we both started crying, but that was her friend that had just passed who told me to go into the closet. He had given that to her. So that was very dear to me. So today, of all days, that's an appropriate message. Margaret, if you're listening, you know what happened. Thank you. Thank you very much, guys.
All right, until next time, you can find Sally all over social media, on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or you can contact her on her email, callmezena1111@gmail.com.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody. I'll see you next week. Coincidence or not, it's time to trust your intuition and knowings. Thank you for joining me through this journey of self-discovery and awakening with the help of my spirit guides. I'm Sally Bernard, and you can find my book, artwork, and contact through artbysallybernard.com. Join us next week. This has been Call Me Zena.